Picture this. You're walking through one of South America's most vibrant nightlife districts. Neon lights reflect off rain-soaked streets, music pulses from every doorway, and couples laugh as they stumble between bars. You feel safe, surrounded by hundreds of people. Then a friendly street vendor approaches with a warm smile, offering candy from his colorful tray. Seems harmless, right? What happened next in Medellin's famous Parque Lleras changed everything I thought I knew about travel safety. My name is Brian, and this is the story of how a simple no thanks to a candy vendor turned into the most terrifying and expensive night of my life. I'm in my mid-40s, originally from Chicago, where I work as an IT consultant for a major tech firm. If you know anything about the tech world, you know it's brutal. 16-hour days, impossible deadlines, clients breathing down your neck constantly. Stress wasn't just part of my job, it was my entire existence. But earlier this year, life threw me a curveball that made work stress seem trivial. My father passed away unexpectedly. I'm not going to lie. It destroyed me. We were close. He was my anchor, my voice of reason when everything felt chaotic. After the funeral, I found myself staring at my computer screen for hours, unable to type a single line of code. My mind felt like it was wrapped in fog. I couldn't concentrate, couldn't sleep, couldn't function. That's when I knew I needed to get away, far away. Travel had always been my therapy. When life got overwhelming, I'd pack a bag and disappear to somewhere new. I'd explored the beaches of Brazil, trekked through Patagonia, wandered the streets of Buenos Aires. But there was one place that had always felt special: Medellin, Colombia. I'd visited once before, about 2 years earlier, and fell in love with everything about it. The warmth of the people, the incredible food, the energy of the city nestled in those stunning Andean mountains. The locals had welcomed me like family, and I'd made genuine friendships that lasted long after I returned to Chicago. So when I needed healing, Medellin felt like the obvious choice. Familiar faces, comfortable surroundings, and hopefully some peace for my grieving heart. Landing in Jose Maria Cordova International Airport felt like coming home. The warm, humid air hit my face as I stepped off the plane, and for the first time in months, I actually smiled. My old friends picked me up at the airport: Bob, an American expat, and Miguel, a native, 2 guys I'd met at a local bar during my previous trip. They'd kept in touch, sending me pictures of new restaurants to try, updates about their lives, always inviting me back. "Brian, welcome home, hermano," Bob shouted, pulling me into a bear hug that nearly knocked me over. The first few days were exactly what I needed. We explored neighborhoods I'd missed before: the colorful Comuna 13 with its incredible street art, quiet coffee shops in El Poblado, where we'd sit for hours talking about everything and nothing. At night, we'd hit the local spots, places tourists never find, where the beer was cold and the conversations were real. I felt myself slowly coming back to life. The fog in my mind began to clear. I was sleeping better, laughing more, actually enjoying food again. For the first time since Dad's funeral, I thought maybe I'd be okay. That feeling lasted exactly 3 weeks. Friday night in Parque Lleras. Friday, October 18th. I remember the date because it's burned into my memory forever. Bob, Miguel, and I decided to try a new restaurant in Zona Rosa, just a few blocks from the famous Parque Lleras. The food was incredible. Bandeja paisa that could feed a small army, craft cocktails that went down way too easily. By 11:30 p.m., we were thoroughly relaxed, telling stories and laughing like old friends do. But Bob had an early morning, and Miguel's girlfriend was waiting for him at home. "Come on, Brian, let's call it a night," Bob said, already reaching for his wallet. But I wasn't ready. The night air felt perfect, the city was alive with energy, and honestly, I didn't want to go back to my empty Airbnb yet. Being alone meant thinking about Dad, and I wasn't ready for that. "You guys go ahead," I told them. "I think I'll take a walk around Parque Lleras, clear my head a bit." Miguel frowned. "You sure, man? It's getting pretty late." "I'll be fine," I insisted. "It's crowded, well lit. What could happen? Those words haunt me now. Parque Lleras at midnight is like nothing you've ever experienced. Picture Times Square, but smaller, more intimate, and with a distinctly Colombian flavor. Street musicians play vallenato on every corner. Couples dance salsa right there on the sidewalk, and the air smells like grilled meat and tropical flowers. I was walking slowly, taking it all in, when I noticed him. He looked like every other street vendor in the area, a thin guy, maybe in his 30s, wearing a faded soccer jersey and jeans. Around his neck hung a large wooden tray, the kind you see throughout Latin America, loaded with candy, cigarettes, gum, small snacks. Nothing unusual, nothing threatening. He approached with the biggest, most genuine smile I'd seen all week. "Candy, amigo?" he said in accented English, clearly recognizing me as a foreigner. "Chocolate? Chiclets?" His voice was friendly, almost musical. He seemed like every other vendor trying to make a living in the park. "No thanks," I replied with a polite smile, the way I'd done dozens of times during my stay. But instead of moving on to the next potential customer, he took a step closer. Then another. Something in his eyes changed. The friendly smile was still there, but it didn't reach his eyes anymore. "Are you sure, friend?" he asked, his voice softer now, more insistent. That's when I noticed his right hand moving. Slowly, deliberately, it slipped beneath the candy tray. For a split second, I thought he was reaching for a different type of candy, maybe something special he wanted to show me. Then I saw the gun. It was small, black, and very real. He brought it up slowly, pressing the cold metal barrel firmly against my stomach, hidden perfectly beneath the colorful tray of sweets. To anyone walking by, it looked like he was just showing me his merchandise. The blood drained from my face. My heart started pounding so hard I was sure he could hear it. "Phone, wallet, now," he whispered, his friendly mask completely gone. "Don't make noise. Don't move fast. Just smile." My hands were shaking so badly I could barely reach into my pockets. I handed over my iPhone 14, my wallet with about $200 cash, my credit cards, everything. But he wasn't finished. The walk to hell. "Walk," he instructed quietly, using the gun to guide me away from the crowded main area. We moved slowly, casually, like two friends having a conversation. He kept that damn smile on his face, nodding and laughing occasionally as if we were discussing the weather. To everyone around us, we looked completely normal. He led me down a side street, away from the lights and the crowds. With each step, my heart sank deeper. This was it, I thought. This was how I was going to die, robbed and murdered on a quiet street in Colombia, just weeks after burying my father. When we reached a dark alley, he pressed me against the wall. "Phone, wallet, everything," he demanded. I handed them over with trembling hands. He quickly pocketed both items, gave me that same chilling smile, and said, "Gracias, amigo." Then he disappeared into the crowd, leaving me standing alone in that dark alley with nothing. Dad always said, "Common sense isn't common." I wish I'd remembered that before that night. I stumbled back to my Airbnb in shock, hoping maybe I could cancel my cards quickly enough to minimize the damage. But when I tried to log into my accounts from my laptop, the horrifying reality hit me. This wasn't just a simple robbery. Over the next few hours, the notifications started pouring in. Bank alerts, credit card charges, overdraft warnings, security breach notifications. Somehow, using my phone and wallet, he had systematically destroyed my entire financial life. My savings account, empty. My checking account, overdrawn. My credit cards, maxed out. My crypto wallet, cleaned out. Even my PayPal account was drained. By morning, I realized he'd stolen over $25,000. And my phone and wallet, gone forever. I don't remember much about getting back to my Airbnb. I think I walked, but I might have taken a taxi. I was in complete shock. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at my laptop, watching the notifications roll in. Transaction alerts, overdraft warnings, security breach notifications. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat there, trying to process what had happened. The next morning, Bob and Miguel were calling, texting, worried because I hadn't responded to their good morning messages. When I didn't answer, they came to check on me. The moment I opened the door, Bob knew something was wrong. "Brian, what happened? You look terrible." I tried to explain, but the words wouldn't come. How do you tell someone that a friendly candy vendor just destroyed your entire financial life in 15 minutes? I came to Medellin to heal from the loss of my father. Instead, I learned one of the hardest lessons of my life. Danger doesn't always look dangerous. That candy vendor looked like every other friendly local I'd met during my stay. He had a warm smile, spoke kindly, and seemed genuinely interested in making a sale. There were no red flags, no obvious warning signs, nothing that screamed threat. But that's exactly what made him so effective. I've traveled to over many countries, lived in major cities, considered myself street smart, but I was completely unprepared for someone who could weaponize friendliness, who could turn an innocent interaction into a nightmare. The financial loss was devastating, but it's not what keeps me up at night. It's the realization that everything I thought I knew about staying safe while traveling was wrong. Sometimes the most dangerous person in the room is the one offering you candy with a smile. I'm sharing this story not to scare people away from Medellin. It's still an incredible city with amazing people. But I want other travelers to understand that staying safe requires more than just avoiding dark alleys and suspicious-looking characters. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, even slightly, listen to that feeling. Don't be polite when your safety might be at risk. And remember, the most successful predators are often the ones who seem the most harmless. That's a lesson I'll never forget, and one that cost me $25,000 to learn. If this story helped you avoid a similar situation, smash that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more real stories from gringos navigating Latin America, the good, the bad, and the expensive. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.